Hey everyone, what is going on? What is going on? My name is Curtis Brooks. I am a men's life coach. I help men communicate their way to healthy relationships. Guys, today we're talking about purpose for men, embracing masculine strength and authenticity. Again, purpose for men, embracing masculine strength and authenticity. But before we get into that, you can find me over on YouTube. You can find me under the call name or name Life Coach for Men. That's going to be Life Coach number 4 Men. Again, Life Coach number 4 Men. Also on Facebook, it is a public page. Again, under Curtis Brooks on Facebook. It's been reported some people say they can't find me on Facebook, but I'm there. Similar picture to the show card, the picture or the image on the show card. Very similar picture, except the background is kind of like a just a natural wood background. So you can find me over there on Facebook, and also on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, it's the very same picture on LinkedIn with a blue background. So search for me on LinkedIn under Curtis Brooks. Again, life coach for men. So I'm trying to keep all the call names or the ending URLs the same. Again, life coach for men. So that being said, hey, what's going on, Dr. Ross, or Dr. Tawana, I should say. Thanks for checking us out there. Good to see you as well. Absolutely. So what I found out, I had to actually pull up the comments over, excuse me, at least view the LinkedIn live stream over on LinkedIn because the comments are not coming up. So that being said, guys, I want to say again, thank you for stopping in. We're talking once more about purpose for men, embracing masculine strength and authenticity. I am going to start with my favorite thing to do, and that is to give the definition of words. I love words, and words, I think, they help settle the score. They establish things. Many of the things have been established by the words. So, that being said, we're talking about purpose. I'm going to read to you the definition of purpose. I'll read just a few definitions, and obviously, a lot of you probably understand. But as it relates to, again, the very topic of what I'm talking about, purpose for men, okay? The first definition reads, the reason for which something exists or is done, made, used, okay? So this is, at the end, this is going to tie perfectly into the subtitle, Embracing Masculine Strength and Authenticity. And it's going to tie in perfectly to that. And so the second definition is intended, an intended or desired results, aim, end, or goal, I should say. Third definition, determination. The fourth definition is going to be the subject at hand, the point at issue. So with purpose is obviously that we must be going somewhere. We must be going somewhere. And unfortunately, I think over just probably, well, I would even say the well before I was born, I'd go on a limb that and say that uh, with us as men, it is often a challenge for us to see purpose. And I think that more so women, you find a lot of women going after their purpose, and perhaps they left the corporate world, if you will, or left their jobs on some level, or just say, hey, you know what, I quit this. I'm going after the very thing that I'm supposed to be doing. And so, and again, finding your purpose doesn't mean that you're just going to be dropping everything, obviously, but it does mean that for purpose, there has to be an alignment. So we're going to talk about an alignment. And so I absolutely believe that with an alignment, purpose is satisfied, if you will. Our purpose is to come into alignment. And I think that unfortunately, in the world that we live in, there's been a lot of hearsay, a lot of conversation about purpose, but I think that a lot of it has been misdirected, has been misguided. It has been used loosely, and I think that when you find your purpose, you in fact are in line with the Creator. And I'm speaking of Creator, I'm speaking of God. I'm not speaking of a universe or something majestic in His Majesty, absolutely, but nothing spooky or trivial or anything like that, perhaps to some people. But I'm speaking of finding your purpose. For us, again, primarily as men, finding our purpose. And when you find your purpose, you find your alignment. And if you can look back, or us as men, women as well, who are viewing, uh, you think about a vehicle. And actually, I'm in that current situation right now. My vehicle needs an alignment. And the tendency, without the vehicle being proper aligned, the tendency is for that vehicle to sway to the left or to the right. And that's not so bad, because I think we all do that in life. We all do that in life. We sway to the left or to the right as it relates to our purpose, as it relates to our direction in life. And those are commonly known as distractions. But with this vehicle being straight or swaying to the left or to the right, there's a few things that happen. One in particular is that the tires begin to wear. Excuse me. The tires begin to wear. And more often than not, because the tires begin to wear unevenly, the likelihood of having to take your car to the mechanic and to get your four tires balanced, or rotate the tires because those tires are wearing improperly. And sometimes we can absolutely bypass the alignment that is needed. We know something needs to be realigned on that vehicle, and we can bypass that alignment by just rotating the tires. And so now we're putting more wear on that one tire, be it the left or the right, or perhaps your vehicle is four-wheel drive. But my point is that one of the tires is going to be worn out more. And I think it is with life. I think it is with life that we are oftentimes out of alignment. And when we are out of alignment, our life is swayed. And the interesting thing about being in alignment, I'm looking at the comments here, so I apologize there. But the interesting thing about being in alignment, or being in your purpose, is that with that purpose, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. You're going to have to make some declarations, if you will. You're going to have to declare some things. Because when a man comes into his purpose, he absolutely knows. He knows. It's something about it. It's something that just registers with him. And it's interesting. I'm going to just kind of circle back to this masculine thing here. I know that was part of the subtitle, Embracing Masculine Strength and Authenticity. And it's interesting because I think with this masculine thing, we hear this a lot in the I guess in the world, or social spaces of spaces and places of the social media, and I think it is just a natural thing, be it man or woman, to be honest. But when you find something, you go after it, and you got that focus, you got that desire to fulfill something. As I read to you earlier, the third definition, that determination. And I don't know if that determination is masculine or feminine. I think it's just determination. I think it's just, I found something. This is it. This is it. I know this is it. And so I just wanted to touch bases on that, because I think it's just overly used in a big way. And unfortunately, it has. I'm going to take a drink of water here. Unfortunately, yeah, absolutely. Coach Shawana says that's real. So, unfortunately, guys, over on LinkedIn, I'm not able to bring the comments on screen. So, I'm looking at my other device to look at the comments. So, thank you, Dr. Shawana, for that. Yeah, it's absolutely real. So, with again, with this word masculine, again, just being overly used, and again, primarily towards men. It's unfortunate, because I think that when one does something, it can be miscued as, again, masculine. When a woman is going after something, it can be miscued as masculine. And I think at the end of the day, like I said, it's determination. And when you found something, you go after it. You go after it. And so, and that is essentially the primary reason I'm here, because I found something. I found my desire and need to speak to men on different levels, whether you're in suits or sweatsuits. Again, those men from one range to another range, it doesn't matter, because in some cases we're all dealing with the same thing. The challenges oftentimes is that the men who are wearing suits or dressed nicely or dressed to the nines, if you will, or looking the part, it can absolutely be disguised. It can be disguised as if they know where they're going. It can be disguised, and oftentimes it is disguised. And there are a lot of, unfortunately, there are a lot of narcissistic men out there, and I'm imagining women as well, and which take people on a journey. And I think we're all trying to find our purpose. We're all trying to find our purpose. And here's the thing, back to this vehicle being out of alignment. A man without his purpose, and when I say man in this regard, I'm speaking of the human race, human beings, man. When a man is without his purpose, he's no different than the vehicle that I mentioned to you. The vehicle that will sway to the left, to the right, or to the left. He's no different. Be it four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. It doesn't matter. That man, that woman without purpose is no different from the vehicle that sways. And unfortunately, life will have it so that when we are without our purpose, that is where people get the most use of us, the use out of us. When we are without our purpose, back to definition one, the reason for which something exists or is done, made, or used. So when we are without our purpose as individuals now, imagine that your children can't find their purpose. And it doesn't mean that we are going to be uh, the the catalyst for them finding their purpose, but we can absolutely be the conduit, if you will, or perhaps a catalyst in assisting them. But when we as adults, men, don't know our purpose, it's hard for us to lead our families. It's hard for us to lead our families. And I know there's a lot of conversation out there in regards to, again, this masculine behavior that comes from men. I know there's a lot of conversation with that, concerning that. But if purpose comes with determination, or vice versa, determination is purpose, it can absolutely look un. It can absolutely look perhaps maybe not very appealing. And in some cases, it seems to be it's natural for men and almost unnatural for women. So today we are trying to answer those questions. We're trying to, I guess, give us more insight of the word purpose and why it is absolutely needed for a man to have purpose. And again, as I mentioned earlier, there is absolutely a lot of conversation out there related to, hey, Lenora, there's a lot of conversation related to, good evening, Lenora, thanks for stopping by. There's absolutely a lot of conversation related to men finding their purpose. And once more, a man without his purpose, that is, in fact, a deadly situation. And I'm sorry to say, I'm sorry to be so just forward with that, but when we're without our purpose, we are made purposeful for others. And that's not such a bad thing, because I believe in life in itself, life will have those moments where we, in fact, will go into some captivity, if you will. I'm just going to give it that name. But we, in fact, will go into some captivity. And And I'm using that very loosely because I would say that this captivity is where we learn the things. And though they come with a lot of pain, a lot of just not knowing, a lot of confusion, those transitional stages in life, it's still a place where it feels like we're being held, perhaps held against our own will. I don't know. And to each person, that captivity, or at least that feeling of captivity is going to feel like we're being held by our own will. It's going to feel like, okay, I got this, I'm ready to do this. But somehow there's this nudge or reminder that says that you're not ready. But what happens when you're ready? Well, that's why purpose is here. That's what I'm talking about today, is purpose for men. Because you can't be set free. Wow, this is good stuff. You cannot be set free. You can't set yourself free. First and foremost, no man can set you free. Only the person can set you free is the man within. But the man within must find his purpose. And until the man finds his purpose, he will be sacrificing the wrong things. Until the man finds his purpose, he will be sacrificing the wrong things. But when a man finds his purpose, he knows exactly what to sacrifice. And that leads me to my next point. Purpose is strategic placement. Purpose is strategic placement for a specific time. Okay, I want you to think about that. Purpose is strategic placement for a specific time. And even in the Bible, we talk about, hey, Stephanie, thanks for stopping by. I'm over on LinkedIn. Thank you for stopping by. So until a man finds his purpose, he is subject to the captors, the individuals who have brought him or his family or the woman. It doesn't matter. Until a man finds his purpose, he is subject to the captors. He is subject to the ruling and the authority of the captors. Because with purpose, come on now. As I tell my wife, you got to get the organ out for this one. Until he finds his purpose, he is subject to the captors. Until he finds his purpose, he has no real authority. Because with purpose comes authority. With purpose comes authority. And it doesn't mean that we're going to be ruling over anyone in particular or a thing, or misusing anyone. No. But it does mean that with purpose, back to definition 1, I have found for the reason which something, which you exist, with purpose, for which its use is intended for, and for which it was made for. Authenticity. Now, this is all tying in because embracing masculine strength, as it relates to what the social media gods or whoever the heck they are, as it relates to what they're seeing as this masculine strength that in fact it is so horrible, so this and that. That's not true. What does masculine strength look like? Because I just read to you the definition of the word purpose. This comes out of dictionary.com. And it says determination. So what does the face of determination look like? Does it look like a man? Or does it look like a docile woman? What does it look like? Do I need to change my armor, change my suit in order to say or to show up in my purpose or to show up determined? So again, purpose is strategic placement for a specific time. Now, there's a scripture in the Bible. I'm always probably going to be giving some kind of scriptural reference, and but that's what it is. There's a scripture in the Bible that talks about that you won't always be held in captivity. And something on those lines. I can't remember it verbatim, but there comes a time when a man has to set himself free. There comes a time where freedom is his course. Freedom is what he's determined to gather. And when I say freedom, not in the sense of just, oh, I'm free. No, I'm free to come into the purpose of a thing, the purpose for which I was created, the purpose intended for its correct use, me, and for which it was made, you, for which you were made, your purpose. So, again, purpose is strategic placement for a specific time. We talked about purpose is alignment, just in the same as with a vehicle. Purpose with a vehicle that is out of alignment. When that vehicle is out of alignment, it will typically or have a tendency to sway to the left or to the right. And it can, let's face it, a vehicle that's out of alignment, it can be detrimental to the life of us who are the passengers, family members. Hey, Marisol. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Absolutely. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, Marisol. Absolutely. So, without purpose, again, it is as a man is driving his vehicle, perhaps with his family. Vehicle is not in alignment. It's essentially the same thing. And we say, well, Curtis, how does the two tie in? Well, when we're without purpose, we have a tendency to sway to the right, sway to the left, and really being of no use to anyone. And again, set into the traditions of the world. And I think let's face it, a lot of the companies we're working for, they've set the guidelines for which purpose they need you for. And anything outside of that is more than likely insubordination. Well, that's not what we asked you to do. Well, that wasn't your responsibility. So they hire different companies, businesses, whatever, the organizations, they hire us for a reason to fulfill a purpose. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But how much more would it be that we as individuals, men and women alike, but namely men, because we are the leaders of our household, how much more would that be if men found their purpose and began to get in alignment and begin to come into their authenticity? Because when you come into your purpose, voila, you come into the very authenticity or the very authentic self of who you are. There are no more fights about certain things anymore when you come into your purpose. You don't squabble with different ideas and challenges over here or petty little things because the thing that's in front of me is greater. So when we find our purpose, we absolutely come in alignment with the Creator. And I absolutely know what it's like to be out of alignment with the Creator myself. I'm no saint by any stretch of imagination. I've definitely been out of alignment one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, a gazillion times. And yeah, it feels nice to be home again. It feels nice to be in alignment. It really does. It really does. Absolutely. So that being said, we're talking about purpose for men. Embracing masculine strength and authenticity. Embracing masculine strength and authenticity. So let's see here. Purpose is managing your resources, the resources that come along with the purpose, with finding your purpose. And I would probably venture to say that in finding our purpose, because in most cases, before we find our purpose, uh, we have spent an exorbitant amount of money in areas, on programs, courses, training, schooling, teachings, and coaches, if you will. And we've spent a lot of money in certain areas. Excuse me. And I guess that old saying that comes to mind to me is that I wish I would have known this. If I would have known this when I was 18 or 25, absolutely. Yeah, that hits us all. Absolutely. That hits us all like a brick wall, for real. And so it is absolutely important to understand that with finding your purpose, there comes, in most cases, limited resources. And perhaps a person has the wherewithal financially. That's a different thing. But when I say limited resources in that sense, I'm speaking of the the aptitude, the character. Because I'll tell you what happens when a man finds his purpose. The tendency is to be swayed easily. Now, this is a man who has just found my purpose, that found that aha moment, that epiphany. He's coming, okay, wow, I got it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So when he finds his purpose, it can come suddenly. It can come again in his 50s, in his 60s, in his 20s, in his 30s. But when he finds his purpose and that newly fashioned or that new state, if you will, the tendency to be swayed is highly likely. To be distracted of some sort is highly likely. It's highly likely. And the reason why that is because the reason why that tendency to be swayed, again, feeling like you're coming out of alignment, if you will, is because there's a nature. There's a nature that was already there, that already existed. And that nature comes from, again, that captivity that we've all been in some regard. That captivity that we've all been placed in some regard, be it on your job, be it on how your parents view you, be it man or woman, how your parents see us as their children, as their adult son or daughter, how we see our kids. Sometimes sometimes people can hold people hostage in regards to how they see them and how they view them. And so when that person wants to step out of the alignment that how we may have viewed them or how you may have viewed him or her, your son, your boss, your kids, whomever, when that individual wants to step out of alignment and according to how we view them, it absolutely can rattle our program. Because, well, wait a minute now, this particular person or thing, this was it can appear like it was a crutch or something. It was needed. I need you in this position. I need you here. And when that person decides to say, hey, you know what, that's not me anymore. I found something that's worth more in weight and valuable than money, than even silver and gold. I found purpose. And until a man finds purpose, I said this earlier, until a man finds purpose, he or she is subject to its captors. Its captors, the ones who have brought them into captivity. And we have all been there. But when a man finds his purpose, he or she is now willing to sacrifice the right things. That's when a man will, or a woman, will go to the lengths of maybe even sleeping in their car because they found something. Or having ramen noodles for lunch for an entire month because they found something. And it's important for me to save my money. It's important for me to no longer spend my money on XYZ anymore because I found something. When a man finds his purpose, he's going to save for it. He's going to make sacrifices for it. And until he finds his purpose, he, in fact, has no authority, not over his own life. There's a scripture in the Bible where Jesus says, "No man takes my life except I lay it down." That's powerful. Because why? His purpose. You can't take away a man's purpose. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what I think. When a man finds his purpose, he can absolutely walk in his authority. He can absolutely walk in his authenticity. And he can absolutely walk in his strength, not masculine strength. Because determination can be female, purpose can be female, it can be man, it can be woman. And who am I to say what purpose looks like? And who are you to say what purpose looks like or determination looks like? When a man finds his purpose, he finds his strength. He finds his authenticity. He finds his voice. And when he finds his voice, he can absolutely find the right relationships that connect the pieces of the puzzle. This puzzle called life. Absolutely. So guys, I have been on, wow, time has gone by so quickly, guys. I have been on for about 35 minutes. I want to leave you with this last few points, or a couple of points in relationship to purpose for men. So now that we've got that out of the way, purpose is not masculine, folks. It's not masculine. So that being said, I'm going to leave you with a couple of points. One is make time for that which you are pursuing. Once you have found your purpose, go after it. Go after it. Go after it. Go after it. Study it, folks. Study it, study it, study it. Because after all, you must fulfill your purpose. And if you don't know for the purpose or which something is used or its intended use of or for, or that it is made for, that it is made, you will, and most likely, misuse a thing. We all will. We all will. I've had relationships in the past where didn't understand its purpose, didn't understand my own purpose. And someone was misused, abused, said the wrong things. So when you find your purpose, you got to study it. You have to go after it. And going after it doesn't look masculine. It's that you found something. So, guys, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Hey, Apostle, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, Apostle. Thank you. Sorry, guys, I didn't look at the comments too much, but there looks like there's just a few of them, but that's okay too. So either way, if you have liked this conversation, guys, please share it. I want to say thank you to Lenora for stopping in. Thank you, Marisol, one of my former colleagues, flight attendants. It's absolutely awesome to have you, to see you. You're doing some wonderful things as well. And Apostle Fuller, thank you, Apostle. that is over on Facebook and YouTube. Also, I want to say thank you to Stephanie um, for jumping in over on LinkedIn, and also to Dr. Tawana. She was actually my LinkedIn coach. She is absolutely awesome. So if you are looking for a LinkedIn coach, Dr. Tawana is the woman that you want to talk to. So that being said, everyone, it is a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for entrusting me with your ear and sharing this conversation with you guys. So that being said, guys, we will talk with you later. Ciao for now. Bye bye.